Today we are playing this budget red-black sacrifice deck featuring some powerful new cards from March of the Machine. The inspiration for the deck is the new uncommon Stormclaw Rager that lets you pay 1 generic mana, sack a creature or artifact to put a counter on itself, and draw a card. We're then playing a few ways to generate cheap sack fodder, like 4 copies of Lagomos that creates a 2/1 trample haste token every turn, and 4 copies of Urabrask's Forge, the only rares in the deck. At the beginning of combat, you put an oil counter on it, and then it generates an X1 trample haste token, where X is equal to the number of counters on it. Now normally you'd have to sacrifice these tokens at the end of the turn anyway, but we're playing a bunch of ways to get value from them, like 3 copies of Annihilating Glare, and 4 copies of Corrupted Conviction. We're also playing 4 copies of the new battle, Invasion of Azgol. On the front side, it lets us force our opponent to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, but on the back side, it becomes a powerful menace creature that grows on our end step if a permanent entered a graveyard, which is most turns in this deck. We're also playing 3 Cut Down as an efficient, cheap removal spell, and 2 copies of Mirrodin Avenged that lets us destroy a creature that was dealt damage this turn and then draw a card. Since we have these tokens that we lose anyway, it looks like we're just chump attacking, but in reality, we have a surprise that can take out a much bigger threat. To round out the deck, we're playing 4 Nezumi Informant that is happy to be sacrificed for value, and 4 copies of Bloodtithe Harvester, an efficient attacker that generates an artifact we can sacrifice, or it can just be sacrificed itself to remove a troublesome creature. So that's the deck. Let's jump into game number 1. I think we need to mulligan. This looks a lot better. I'm gonna put back Bloodtithe. No, let's put back Invasion of Azgol. We'll keep our proactive 2-drop. If they don't play any creatures, we'll be happier that we have the Bloodtithe Harvester out. Let's go ahead and drop this. Next turn we can play Stormclaw Rager. So we're gonna 1-for-1 with a cut down. Sure. Okay, let's drop the Urabrask's Forge this turn. Hopefully it resolves. No. Okay. Stormclaw Rager. Does resolve. No removal yet. Okay, discarding a card. Okay, here. Let's go ahead and go for this now to deal a little bit more damage. If they use removal in response, this is fine because we have Corrupted Conviction available. So we'll hit them for 3. And then play Bloodtithe Harvester. And pass the turn. Let's see, Halo Forger, sure. So they get to recast Dread Fugue. Okay. Corrupted Conviction. Do we discard Annihilating Glare? I don't think so. Let's keep our blood token. Let's go ahead and sacrifice our blood token now, because this will enable a good attack here. We'll hit them for 6. And we are putting some pressure on them. See what they have available. It's a pretty good draw, I think. We will sacrifice it to probably Corrupted Conviction. So I'm not necessarily in a rush to do this. Urtai, okay. Gonna destroy that. I think I'm okay with this. We already get the card out of that. Let's see if they will trade here. Sure. And we'll just pass. We'll use Corrupted Conviction on our end step here. Okay, let's just draw 2 now. So this just doesn't matter. And now we'll play land. And we'll play Urabrask's Forge. Hit them for 1. And no targets yet. This is why we're playing Mirrodin Avenged, because they do play something that blocks. We can hit them. Okay, so using Cemetery Desecrator to flip this. We'll go to combat. Attack for 2. Doesn't matter. And then we'll use Mirrodin's Avenged to destroy that. Okay, so they get to hit the Urabrask's Forge. Yeah, we're going to play Bloodtithe Harvester. And then we'll sacrifice the blood token to destroy Marchesa. And I think we're in a good spot here because they just invested a lot of resources into those 2 creatures. And that's it. Good game. Bit of a slower, more controlling hand for us, but I think this is decent. We get to just cut this down. No problem. And then turn 2, we'll decide if we want to play Informant or Bloodtithe Harvester. I think we're going to go for the Bloodtithe Harvester. If they're not playing any threats, we get the blood token. So we can try and dig to our action. And then next turn, we can play Informant plus Glare or Cut Down. So Tyvar, they're going to bring back a Skull Dweller. And then here, we need access to our second black. We'll cut this down. Hit Tyvar for 3. Just keep that off the board. And then play Informant. We have a good turn next turn as well. We can Lagomos plus Annihilating Glare. Like if they just play a creature here, that's probably a good play for us. Bushwhack, searching for a land. And no plays. So here we have to keep our black available. So we're going to hit them for 6. And then before end of turn, we'll sacrifice the 2/1 to draw 2 cards. Awesome value there. And then next turn we can decide whether we want to go Stormclaw Rager or Urabrask's Forge. Usually biased towards the Urabrask's Forge, where it deals combat damage to a player. Okay, so we're not going to let that thing deal damage to us. So we'll just sack the... Let's sack the blood. We can keep the Informant for now. We don't need the blood token, really. Urabrask's Forge. And off to the races. Jam. Opponent to 6. We're not going to play out Rager on the off chance that they have a board wipe here. Alright, that's it. Good game. This looks good. We'll keep this. Let's start on probably Bloodtithe Harvester. Yep. And then next turn we can play Invasion of Azgol. Excellent. This is a good start here. So let's play our tap land. This is the only thing we're playing this turn. We get to play Azgol, have them sack a creature, and get to immediately attack this. for 3. Next turn, if they just play a creature again... Ooh. Okay, slow start for our opponent here. It kind of works out for them, though, because I don't have a way to punish this. But we'll flip this one. And then we get to cast this Transformed. So the even end step put a +1/+1 counter for permanent was put into a graveyard. So we're going to go ahead and use this, discard our land, draw another Harvester, and that worked out nicely. So now this gets to grow. And we have a nice turn next turn as well. Again, if they just tap out for a single creature... Okay, so playing Kami of Whispered Hopes. We get to put 2 counters on it. No sacrifices here. But again, do we Annihilating Glare or just Azgol? It's gotta be Azgol. They're in some trouble. And then we'll send 2 at this and 1 at them. And we get to cast this Transformed. And we'll pass the turn. If they don't have a way to wipe the board here, which they're probably not playing a deck like this. Alright, so before they get a counter on it, we're going to go ahead and cut that down. Another one. And this is only at the beginning of our end step, so no reason to do this now. We'll do this on their turn. So we'll go ahead and Annihilating Glare. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So not quite. So we'll hit this thing, sack this. Just mono removal here. This is working out really nicely. Go to combat. And yeah, we might as well just play this out. I don't think they have a way to punish us for this. These Ashen Reapers are putting in some work. This has got to be it, right? There you go. That was a nice curve. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video and consider subscribing for future budget decks just like this one. We'll see you next time.